What's up, YouTube? The Rain Man here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Hall of Heroes event that's going to be running this weekend. Every month there's always a Hall of Heroes, and this month it is the Fire Samurai, also known as June or Jun, wherever you're located at, or however you feel it's pronounced. Uh, it'll be open from March 10th through the 13th. It's going to consist of 10 floors. As you can see, as you complete the floors, you also get 5 crystals. And as you complete the floors, you also get 25 pieces. You will need to complete 2 floors to get enough pieces to summon one. You're going to need 50 pieces to summon the Hall of Heroes monster. So out of 10 floors, that's going to be 250 pieces. So you'll be able to summon 5 if you can complete all 10. You can also, if you have the guild points just sitting around doing nothing, you can also complete floor 1, go spend 1,000 guild points on 25 more pieces, and summon it. And you could get half a free one every floor if you so chose to do so. Of course, that does require you to summon it once you get the 50 pieces. You can, from my understanding of it, you cannot buy 25 pieces if you have 50 pieces. You cannot buy 25 more pieces. You would need 25 pieces alone to do so. So keep that in mind if you plan on abusing the guild points that way and getting more than 5. So that's going to be starting this weekend. Like I said, you can only run the floors once. So you won't be able to go back and rerun floor 1 multiple times. You can only, unlike what it was a few months back. So, now to go look at the actual Fire Samurai himself. Whoop. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Go down to where he is awakened. Where is he at? There he is. Alright, so, awakened. He has his first skill. Quickly draws a sword to attack the enemy, decreasing the target's defense for 2 turns with a 50% chance. The skill has a 10% chance to activate the Sword of the Supreme Skywolf. Sword of the Supreme Skywolf is actually a samurai move. All 5 samurais have it. So, like I said, I'll go over that once I get there. Defense decrease or defense break. It's not a bad thing to have on hand. Let's see. Second skill. Swiftly attacks the enemy 2 times, so it hits twice, leaving a continuous damage on the enemy for 2 turns on a critical hit. So it could leave 2 dots. The skill has a 30% chance to activate the Sword of the Supreme Skywolf. So all of his moves have a chance to activate that super move, or so to speak, super move. I'm saying that with air quotes. You can't see that. So third skill. Attacks all enemies, so it's an AoE move 2 times with a flaming sword energy. Each attack has a 40% chance to decrease the enemy's attack power for 2 turns, so it's an attack break, so it can make them hit not as hard. Skill has a 50% chance to activate the Sword of the Supreme Skywolf. There's, like I said, all 3 moves, so he's got 2 single target moves and an AoE. Supreme Skywolf. Sword of the Supreme Skywolf attacks all enemies. Again, an AoE. That deals substantial damage that ignores all beneficial effects that reduce the inflicted damage. So if I'm reading that right, so if they have a defense buff, it ignores the defense buff. If they have a shield, it might ignore the shield, I think. Not 100% sure on that one. I think it ignores the shield. I don't know for sure on that, but it sounds like it might ignore the shield. Don't know about, let's see, the sustain, like what Theomars gets. I don't know if it ignores that. I wouldn't think it would. I don't think it would. I wouldn't expect it to. If it does, surprise, surprise. Surprise to me. But he has 2 two single target moves and 2 AoEs. If you do activate the Supreme Skywolf, a shield is generated proportionate to your level and lasts for 1 turn. And I think you only have 1 turn to do the Supreme Skywolf to actually use that Supreme Skywolf. So if you don't use it that turn, you actually lose it. So, but it can be activated with any move. Of course, like I said, there's a 10% chance with the first one, 30% chance with the second one, and a 50% chance with the third one. So there's a chance you could activate this Supreme Skywolf with every turn. He's a decent fire nuker. So if you are lacking a fire nuker, you could farm the Hollow Heroes for this and get him. As with any of the secret dungeons or the Hollow Heroes, if you can farm enough pieces to get one, you don't have to summon it immediately. You never know. The guy might get buffed later. Currently, personally, in my opinion, I believe the fire one is better of the primary elements over water and wind. The light and dark ones are going to be the better ones. So if you can farm multiples of these, you may want to store them until you get a light or a dark one. Or if you are in dire need of the fire nuker, summon one of them, or go ahead and summon all of them and skill them up. But my suggestion would be, like I said, farm one, at least one, save it. If you can farm more, farm them. But like I said, your limit's gonna be 5. But he's a decent fire nuker. Like I said, he's got 2 single targets, 2 AOEs. So he's pretty decent fire nuker if you need somebody early on. It could be used maybe mid game. I don't see a lot of him late game, because usually by late game you usually have a more useful fire nuker, like some of the more some of the 5 stars, or I think there's a few other 4 stars that would be better fire nukers as well. But like I said, he's decent fire nuker if you don't have one, so you can get your hands on one. Now, onto the floors. Whenever you're attacking the floors, as it usually goes, the first 2 floors are going to be, as with the primary elements, with fire, water, and wind. The first 2 waves are going to be whatever it's not. So it's a fire Hollow Heroes. So the first 2 waves are going to have 3 water samurai and 3 wind samurai. So it's don't know which way it's going to go. If wave 1's going to have the wind and wave 2's going to have water. Don't know how that works. Which way they're going to do with that. But keep that in mind. There's going to be 3 of them. More often than not, it's going to be someone's going to benefit running with this person, or is actually going to benefit some other ability that they have. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the wind and water ones are, I believe it's lightning speed, damage increases according to your attack speed. See if this one has anything to do with speed. Your attack speed is increased. So his speed actually increases with the second skill. And then his third skill actually is based on his speed. So, I think the water one is the same way as well. Your attack speed increases for 2 turns if it lands as a critical hit. And then this one, attacks enemy 2 times, increases in enemy's attack bar by 50%. Damage increases according to your attack speed. So more likely there's going to be some kind of speed booster running with these guys on the first 2 waves. Not sure which ones they could be. Usually it's going to be an element, like I said, it's going to be an opposite element. So water could have some kind of fire booster with it. Could be, I'm trying to think what kind of fire monsters do a speed boost. And I'm drawing a complete blank right now. So, but let's keep that in mind. More likely, one of these floors is going to have some kind of speed booster running with the samurais. Then you have the mini boss. Usually, the mini boss is not going to be a samurai. It's going to usually be another monster along with a pair of 2 monsters. such as maybe something. It could be like a pioneer with two cult girls, or a what was one I remember seeing. One was an occult girl, and there was two barbarian kings with her. So like I said, keep that in mind. So that's the mini boss for that wave. So more like there's going to be some kind of beneficial effects. The monsters are going to benefit on each wave. They're going to benefit each other. If I remember correctly, the occult girl was a water, and the barbarian kings were wind. And I think the wind has a self heal, I believe. Uh, so I said there was a lot of healing going on with each other. So the barbarian kings were healing themselves, and a will could heal the team. So keep that in mind whenever you're going on, when you start looking towards the mini boss. The next two waves, 4 and 5, or will be the light. Will have more than likely have the light and dark samurais. Like I said, there's going to be 3 of each of these. So one wave will have 3 light samurais. One wave will have 3 dark samurais. They could be in reverse order. Dark could be on wave 4, light could be wave 5, or vice versa. So keep that in mind. I don't believe these have anything dealing with speed. Of course, you have the sword defense break. See, we got attacks the enemy twice, continuous damage, same as the fire samurai. See, attacks all enemies 2 times with the energy of pitch black darkness. Each attack deals 25% increased damage if the enemy's under weakening effects, and is guaranteed a critical hit if the target has light attribute. So if you have a light monster on the team, the dark samurai is going to guarantee a critical hit against them. If you have attack breaks and defense breaks on your team, he's going to hit harder because of those buffs. So maybe having a debuff stripper such as a Delphoy, or such as Delphoy. Mav will strip 1 debuff. Verimo strips 1 debuff with every turn. So you may want to bring someone who does, to at least maybe avoid from taking too much damage from the dark one. But the light one's the same way, I believe. Let's see. Of course, the same move as everybody else. Attack speed's increased for 2 turns. So he's got, the skill has a 20% chance. So he's actually a little lower than the other ones. Wait a minute, did the dark one have the same thing? 30% chance. What about the wind? 20% chance. Water, 20% chance. Okay. So the light one has a 20% chance to activate Skywolf. His attack speed is going to be increased for 2 turns. So he's going to be sped up. Let's see. Attacks all enemies 2 times with a shining sword. So it's going to be another AoE move. Each attack deals 25% damage. Increased damage if the enemy's under weakening effects. So if you get, like I said, just like the dark one, any buffs or debuffs, defense breaks, attack breaks, dots, any kind of weakening effect is going to actually make this move do more damage. And it's also a guaranteed critical hit if the target has dark attribute. So if you get a dark monster on this wave, he's going to guarantee a critical hit against them. So that's going to be waves 4 and 5. When you hit wave 6, you're going to have the Fire Samurai. I believe it's kind of random as to which other samurais are with him. So we have the Fire Samurai as the boss in the center, and he'll have a samurai on either side of him. So he may have a water and a dark. It may have a wind and a water. It may be a light and a dark one. Light wind. Could be either way. So they're going to be samurais with the fire. So that's the way the boss wave is going to be. So I said that's going to be each floor. Each floor has 6 waves. I said the first 2 waves will have the other element, and the 4th and 5th wave will have the light and dark elements. That's typically the way the primary elements, fire, wind, and water, typically the way the primary Hall Hero elements run. So keep that in mind. So I said you may want to bring someone who strips debuffs, More than likely, as you get higher up, you're going to want to bring a healer. Some of the late game players will be able to speed run through the first three, four, five, six weight floors with no problem. Uh, Me, I'm not that way. I believe the first four floors I can do no problem. Usually floors 5 and 6. Take that back. I think I can do up to five with no problem, autoing, just letting it run. Usually 6, 7, and 8 end up autoing. Like I said, more than likely this weekend, whenever it comes around, I'll probably actually record me running through this, like I did last time with the water joker. So, like I said, if you do not have a fire nuker, I believe I actually have mine out. He's not 6-star. There he is. He's not 6-starred. Let's go and do that. There you go. You can see him. He's not 6-starred. He doesn't have great runes on him. So I just got Fatal Blade on him. So he's mostly, right now, he's mostly just used for win secret dungeons. That's where I use him at primarily at right now. I've got other monsters that are for nuking fire-wise. I don't really have anything to wear. So, but at least not AoE nukes anyway. I got some pretty good single target nukers. Hua, Trevor, Vertihill. So, missed him. So I got some pretty good nukers. So, but like I said, these are going to be monsters that you're going to want to. You're going to want to. If you don't have a fire nuker, you're going to want to try and get one of these guys if you can. So, but that's it for the video. Like I said, if you want a fire nuker, there's your one right there. Comatose is giving you one for free. Only requires 20 energy and probably 10 minutes of your time to actually play through the first two floors to get the 50 pieces required to actually summon him. I said he's not a bad monster. I've had him for a while. Like I said, at my level in the game right now, I use him strictly for win secret dungeons. So, but like I said, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment down below. I try to answer them whenever I see them. And until next time, have fun. Later.